What's up, YouTube? We're going to do another video game discussion today. Today, I wanted to talk about if it's right to buy a PlayStation 4 in 2020. So, should you buy a PlayStation 4 in 2020? There's pros and cons to it. I don't have the answer to it. I've had a PlayStation 4 for a few years now, and I love it. I love my PlayStation 4. I play it every single day. I think it's tremendous. I think it's probably my favorite system since the PS2. Truth be told, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's a great system. I think it's had a great life, huge library of great games, and I think it's fantastic. But if you don't have one, should you pick one up in 2020 when PlayStation 5 release is only, 10, 11 months away? The 5 reasons you would want to pick up a PlayStation 4 in 2020. Number 1, currently right now, the best version of the system is what's available. So, the original PlayStation was shiny on top, and it was fine. It was loud. A lot of the hard drives were only like 500 gigabytes, and at this point, those systems are all 7, 8 years old now. It came out in 2013, so 7 years old at least. And that version of the system was okay. It was a little bit bulky. It was a little bit shiny. All that got scuffed up. But the Slim and the Pro release that came out in 2016 are still what's in production now. And they're the absolute best versions of the system. They're quieter. They're more. They use less power. And I believe the PS4 Pro is definitely a lot faster. I think it's 4 teraflops as opposed to 1.8 or something like that. They also they're more built to last. All of the way system releases work is a system first comes out, and then whatever issues the systems have over the first couple of years, because they haven't tested the longevity. They make sure the system works when it comes out, but they don't know yet what the problems are going to be over the next 2, 3, 4 years. This is the way it's been over the last couple generations anyway. And so that happens, and then there's sort of a midlife refresh of the system where they correct whatever problems it was, some soldering here, maybe a fan was loud, maybe it didn't cool right in certain ways. They fix that, and then they usually release a slim model, and this generation they release Pro models. And the Slim model and the Pro model are absolutely the best versions of the PS4. The original one was fine, but the Slim and the Pro are absolutely the best version of the PS4. Same thing goes for the Xbox One. The Xbox One S is faster than the original, works a lot better, the menus are a lot smoother, and the Xbox One X is the fastest and most powerful system on the market currently. So those midlife refreshes, those are the best versions of the systems to ever come out. On top of it being the best version of the PS4, it's cheaper now. Over Christmas, you could have got a PS4 Slim with downloads for the God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and The Last of Us HD Remastered. And it was $200 on Black Friday everywhere. And I think it's still $250 right now. That is super cheap. For a 1 terabyte system, that is super cheap for a PS4, for everything that it comes with. So the prices have come way, way down. I think they were $399 initially when they first came out. Now the PS4 Pro is $399, but you can find those often enough for $300 or less, too. And with games, bundled with games. So you get the best version of the system at the best price that it's been through the generation right now. So that might be a good reason to pick it up, particularly if you don't have one. The next reason is the controller. This is the third reason why maybe you should. This is, in my opinion, the best version of the PlayStation controller. I played the PlayStation 2 for the entire generation. I was a kid, so my hands were much smaller. I played the PlayStation 3 a good bit. Controller was the same size on the PlayStation 3 as it was on the PlayStation 2, and my hands got bigger because I'm a man now, and it always felt small to me. The PlayStation 4 controller, however, is great. It's bigger. The sticks are a little bit more robust. It's just the best version of the controller. I have 3 of them, just sort of because they're very sturdy. They've lasted a lot. They've lasted very long. Like I said, I play every day. I haven't broken any of them. They don't rattle. This is my original one. Doesn't really rattle. Sounds good. It's very sturdy. Still works great. And just the best controller, in my opinion. The best PlayStation version of the controller. That's what I'm used to. Now, I think the Xbox controller is great too, but PlayStation with the sticks lined up, that's what I'm used to. It's what my thumbs are looking for, and this is absolutely the best version of it. Number 4. Lots of life left in the system, still. You would think, with the PlayStation 5 coming out in 2020, why wouldn't I just wait? Why wouldn't I just wait and get a PlayStation 5? Well, there's a lot of life left in the PS4, and here's why. So, the PlayStation 3, think of it this way. The last game that was released for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 came out in 2013. The last game to come out on PlayStation 3 was FIFA 2019. And that came out in, fall of 2018. So, the PlayStation 3 lasted from 2005, or early 2006. 2006, and was still getting releases until 2018. That's a huge life. Huge. Now, the releases started to dwindle there pretty much 2016 on, but for 10 years, it got pretty steady releases. Brand new stuff, too. I mean, we had one when in 2015 and 2016, and they were still putting out, whenever, updates would come up for, Diablo 3. I got the new Diablo 3 when it came out. I got the original Diablo 3 when it came out on the PlayStation 3. And then I got the expansion pack as well, Reaper of Souls, when that came out. Also on PS3. Although the PS4 had been out already for a while. Additionally, so there were a lot of games still coming out. Skylanders, a lot of games still coming out for the PS3 up to 10 years afterwards, and then 12 years afterwards, they were still getting mostly sports releases, but they were still getting a lot of releases. So there's still a lot of life left in the PlayStation 4. I would imagine that it'll sort of still be a soft turnover, similar to the PlayStation 3, where for the next 3 to 4 years, you're probably still going to see pretty consistent releases for it. Maybe not all of the top tier ones, but you'll still get your FIFAs, your Maddens, your WWE games, and, lots of other stuff that doesn't necessarily need all the power of the PS5. Because let's face it, there's plenty of indie games and stuff that just don't need that kind of power. So there's still a lot of life left in the PlayStation 4. And the 5th reason why is the games. The games that are already available, plus what's still coming. Like I said, it's going to be a soft release, so there's going to be plenty of games that come out both on the PS4 and the PS5. But on top of that, still Ghost of Tsushima comes out soon this year, as does The Last of Us Part 2. That'll come out this year. Those will both be PlayStation exclusives, plus the whole back catalog. If you've never had a PlayStation 4 and haven't played it, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, God, just so many amazing exclusive titles. Death Stranding. Just so many good titles on top of the things that have come out for both systems, like your Mortal Kombats or your Maddens or Modern Warfare and all that stuff. So you're still getting a lot of new games, a lot of exclusives, and the exclusives that have already come out, if you haven't played them, you need to do yourself a favor and go back and go through them, because oh my god, are they wonderful. So that's why you might want to pick up a PlayStation in 2020. Now, why wouldn't you? So let's play the counter argument here. Why would you not want to? Well, number one, PS5 does come out this year. So end of 2020, PS5 is going to come out. It will be backwards compatible to the PS4, at least, if not more so. But it should be backwards compatible. So that would sort of deter you, because even if you buy a PS4, you can then trade it in and get a PS5 rather quickly at the end of the year. PS4 is still really not terribly cheap. Like I said, the PS3 is like dirt cheap right now. You can get them for under $100 with controllers, with stacks of games. You can go clean out GameStop for like $20. If your GameStop isn't already cleaned out, if somebody like me hasn't been in there, just like, I'll take all these games. That'll be $19.98. Great. I'll leave with like 8 AAA awesome titles that are only like 5 or 6 years old. PS4 is not backwards compatible, so that's kind of the thing that I feel like, whether or not it makes a difference on how a system sells, for me it's a little harder because I do like to go back and play old games. The fact that it's not backwards compatible with PS2 is to me starting to become one of those things where it's like, I don't want to lose that generation of systems. So I'm really hoping the PS5 is, because I thought the PS2, I mean, those were my formative years. So that was my favorite generation of systems. And yes, plenty of them have been remastered, but at the same time, lots of things like the licenses just expired. And if you have the disc, or the studio's closed, or whatever, and if you have the disc, it might still be something you want to pick up and play through, you know, now it's 20 years later. And I feel like software, like system hardware, doesn't last forever. You can still get a PS2 now. They're not expensive, but the more time that goes on, it's going to become harder and harder to find one that works. And at some point, you're just not going to be able to find PS2s that work. So the fact that the PS4 doesn't have at least PS2 backwards compatibility, to me, I think is difficult. There won't be a ton of... Another reason is there won't be a ton of new exclusives. Like, yes, we're going to get Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima here this year. But that, as far as PS4 exclusives or things that come out specifically for the PS4, once the PS5 comes out, that's going to dry up. They might get dual releases, maybe for some things, if it's popular enough, or if it's worth porting back to the PS4, and you know, in a lower powered range. But the toppy tier, if you're like a day one, I got to get in there, play the crap out of this game, exclusive type of guy, it's, you know, you're not gonna get those past this year. Those are going to sort of be on the newest console, and that's just the same for every generation of systems. It's just what happens. And the last reason is, and I've started to talk about it, the PS5 will be backwards compatible, so you'll be able to go back and play PS4 games, but the PS4 is not backwards compatible with anything. So it's sort of its own thing. I don't know about you, but I got a bunch of systems stacking up, taking up room. When I get a PS5, I'll probably get rid of my PS4, because I won't want to have just that many systems laying around. So I'd probably trade the PS4 in for the PS5, because I'll still be able to play my PS4 library just on my PS5, and I won't need to have so much hardware to just play that stack of games. So, tell me what you think. Do you think it's worth it to pick up a PS4 in 2020? I think it's great. I love my PS4. I'm going to go play PS4 now. But, you know, it's up to you. Do you think it's worth it? I think it might be worth it. Truth be told. If you don't have a PS4, I think, and you're not huge into games, but you would like to, or maybe you had kids or something, and now you're maybe just starting to have time to play, I think a PS4 is probably the most worthwhile investment into a gaming system that you can make right now. Might it be a better investment to wait for the PS5 to come out? I don't know. Launches are difficult, and who's to say how we don't know what the price of the PS5 is going to be, and we also don't know what its reliability is going to be. I imagine most Sony products are pretty reliable. I don't imagine there's going to be much problem. But like I said before, usually by the time you get to the Slim and the Pro model versions of it a couple years later, all of the bugs have been worked out, and you're getting the absolute best version that the system could possibly be. So, I don't know. I'm still torn on it as well. I don't know if I'm going to get a PS5 on release, or if I'm going to wait a year or so until it's absolutely necessary. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Tell me what you think down in the comments. I know it was kind of a long video, but I'll edit it down a little bit, I think. Thanks for watching. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.